How's it going, Connor? Hi, today is November 19th, 2019. I'm Tyler.
And I'm Francisco. In today's show, we will show teacher interviews, and we will be talking about Joker breaking a box office record and animals finally getting recognized for wartime bravery, along with some interviews with some teachers.
So stay tuned for today's episode of Total Recap. The movie Joker has broken another box office record. The movie, with Joaquin Phoenix in the lead role, has surpassed $1 billion in box office sales worldwide, reported by Weekly Entertainment. The milestone makes the blockbuster the first R-rated movie to hit the $1 billion mark, according to the outlet. This also makes Joker the number one for R-rated comic films, having passed Deadpool 2, which only made $783 million. Joker also has the highest opening weekend for an R-rated movie with about $93 million in its first weekend, and 2 weekends later, it made a total of $737 million, becoming the fastest-grossing R-rated movie.
U.S. animals are finally getting medals for wartime bravery. A pigeon named G.I. Joe was a hero during World War II and saved over Allied soldiers by flying 20 miles in 20 minutes to deliver a message that aborted an imminent bombing by friendly forces. He was one of 8 recipients of a new charity-sponsored Medal of Bravery for American war animals. Members of Congress and animal handlers present said the awards were long overdue. Some call it a historic day. One of G.I. Joe's post-war caretakers teared up as he patted the bird's case. So far, only 2 pigeons, 5 dogs, and a horse have been awarded this medal. Everyone says they were heroes.
Now we'll take it to a quick commercial break.
Hey, bells by the ring. 4 minute bells in your ring yet? Alright, I guess I got a class. Thank you, sir.
Mario Kart or Mario Kart?
What is all these questions? No.
It's for a couple of stars.
No. Excuse me, it's a walking talk.
No.
I gotta get to class, it's walking talk. Alright, let's go to another staircase. Did y'all just seriously move staircase from all the way over there? Still no answer. Okay. What? Bro, come on. Y'all at least have one more room. That's the elevator.
What's up, Conroe High? I'm Adrian, your weather anchor for today. Right now for this week, it feels amazing until it hits Thursday and Friday. Today's weather will be a high of 76 degrees and a low of 55 degrees, being partially cloudy. Tomorrow it will be a high of 77 degrees and a low of 66, being mostly cloudy. On Thursday, the high will be a 78 degrees and a low of 65 degrees with a 30% chance of storm. Friday will have a high of 78 degrees and the low will be a 47 with a 70% chance of storm. And now finally on Saturday, we'll be having a high of 61 and a low of 41 degrees with it being partially cloudy. Now for the fact of today, Black Friday is the busiest day for the Rooter, a major plumbing service. They are called to clean it up from overwhelmed sewer systems. Now we'll take it to some interviews with teachers about how they became teachers, since this week is Generation of Texas Week.
So, no, I originally did not want to be a teacher. I went into university, became an engineer, and I had a friend of mine tell me about this wonderful job working on offshore rigs. I thought that was really exciting. So I finished my mechanical engineering degree and went and worked in the offshore rigs. So I've been in business in various jobs for about 37 years. And lost a job in the oil field recently, about 5 years ago, and decided that, hey, I think I'm going to become a teacher. And it was actually a suggestion by my wife. So with my degree, I was able to become a teacher.
I knew I wanted to work with kids, but my first degree was sociology and psychology. Then I realized I wasn't sure if I could handle it, so I knew the next step was to become a teacher where I could actually work hands-on with kids.
So when I was in high school and all of my public school career, I always said I want to go to school to be a veterinarian. That's what I started saying when I was like 3 years old. Like, I want to go to Texas A&M, be a vet. And so my senior year, I applied to Texas A&M. I got into Texas A&M, and I was like, all right, I'm on my journey to become a veterinarian, like I said. And so when I got to Texas A&M, at 18, I moved out. So mom and dad, I completely moved out of their house, became independent. And so I applied for every scholarship I could possibly get back in high school, and I got about $60,000 worth of scholarships. But if you know, at Texas A&M, it costs about $21,000 to $25,000 depending on what program you're in. So $60,000 wasn't going to be able to cover it all. So when I got to Texas A&M, first week of school, I got a job. I started working there on campus at IMS, Instructional Media Services, installing technology, and I went to go to my first class that Tuesday. And when I went to class, they had a ag leadership class where they talked about all the different programs in the agriculture department. And they asked that question, how many of y'all want to be a veterinarian? And about out of the 600 kids in class, about 400 of them raised their hand and was like, yeah, well, I want to be a vet. Well, if you know about Texas A&M vet school, they only accept about 101, 102 applicants every year. But the second class, they had a speaker come in and talk about agriculture science. And so I was listening to that speaker, and they were talking about how you can become an ag teacher. And so I was like, well, that'd be really cool. And so I thought about it. I was continuing on in the animal science track, preparing to become like a veterinarian, and I was in my third semester at Texas A&M, and I was like, you know what? I kept thinking about that guest speaker that came in, was talking about agriculture science, that degree to become an ag teacher, and I was like, well, let me change my degree. And so my third semester at Texas A&M, I was like, you know what? I'm going to go ahead and change my degree and become an ag teacher.
So I'm Mrs. Castleberry, and originally I was going to be a business major in finance. My goal was to work on Wall Street, actually in the stock market on the trading floor. So I went to college and went through all of my business classes, and I just got this feeling that this is not what I was being called to do. Ran into some difficulties in some classes, some things that, like accounting, I just didn't agree with accounting, having to have the two sides of the income statement. So I ended up going, well, what am I going to do? And so I knew that my mother had been a teacher, my grandmother had been a teacher, my great-grandmother had been a teacher, my aunt had been a teacher. And so I thought, well, maybe this is what I'll try out. And it just ended up being my calling, and I'm incredibly passionate about it. So I kind of fell into it almost by accident, but it's absolutely my passion, and I am in the classroom by choice. And so I love every day that I get to be here and be with the students.
Well, the reason I decided to become a teacher, because for 23 years I trained young adults in the military on how to be soldiers and how to be leaders. And when I saw the opportunity to continue, to me, serving in the community and helping kids achieve their goals, I just jumped at that opportunity to become a JROTC instructor. Nothing's more rewarding than teaching the youth of the day how to be leaders of tomorrow. And that's the whole reason why I became a teacher.
Well, I started out going to school. I played college ice hockey, and we signed a declaration of war for the first Persian Gulf War. And I dropped out of school and joined the United States Navy. After that, I became an iron worker for over 20 years. And my daughter was a teacher, and she told me that there was other things you could do besides being an iron worker. So I went and got my teaching certificate at the University of North Texas. I started teaching 2 years for the Windham School District in the prison system. And then Conroe had a job opening, and I've fallen in love with every minute of being here. That's about my job.
Hey everyone, we wanted to finish out our newscast today with a few announcements.
Student Council is holding a food drive through all math classes. We are collecting cans and boxed foods before Thanksgiving, the week of November 18th through the 22nd. The math class that submits the most food will receive either breakfast or lunch for the entire class.
The National English Honor Society meets third Wednesday of every month. Our next meeting on Wednesday is November the 20th, after school in the LGI.
The boys soccer team is having an open field scrimmage on Wednesday, November 13th and 20th. You must have a physical on profile to participate. If you plan on trying out for the team this year, we look forward to seeing you there. Chinese Club will host an early Thanksgiving celebration on November 20th after school from 3 p.m. to 4 p.m. at room 2 2019. You're all invited. Please RSVP with Ms. Shang before this Friday. We provide Chinese food for this event. If you plan to join us, please come to see Ms. Shang before this Friday and contribute $5 for your food. Student Council has 80 children left to adopt from the Angels Tree if you, your family, or organization would like to adopt a child. Please contact Student Council or Ms. Skelton in room 308 in the annex. We're hoping all children will be adopted by Thanksgiving.
Conroe FFA is having their Friendsgiving meeting today at 6:30 p.m. Come and enjoy the feast. Thanksgiving dinner is served. This week we are celebrating Generation Texas Week. Generation Texas Week is a time for students to learn about options available to them after they graduate from high school. Each day this week we will cover a different topic to help you decide which pathway is best for you. Did you know there are teachers at our school that did not go to college to be a teacher? Did you know that we have several teachers who were in the military before becoming a teacher? Talk to your teachers to see what pathway they took to get to where they are today. Your teachers, counselors, and administrators are all great resources to help you find your pathway after school. Here is something about the career fair.
Now it's Twitter poll time. Last time we asked you which is better, Finding Nemo or Finding Dory, and the results are in. 88% said Finding Nemo, and 12% said Finding Dory.
On today's Twitter poll, we want to know what movie you're most excited for. Sonic the Hedgehog, Frozen 2, Jumanji The Next Level, or Bad Boys for Life. Please vote and let your voice be heard.
Well, those are all the announcements that we have for today. Don't forget to follow us on all social media at KTIG News.
As always, CHS, start strong, finish strong. Make sure to tune in for tomorrow for more KTIG news.